Hello everyone, welcome back to Purple Rose Crafts. Today we're talking about how to create our knitted cast on for absolute beginners. So we're going to talk about how we start and how we actually do this knitted cast on. If you want to choose a small amount of yarn or whatever you want to use for your project, I'm going to use the Bernat Premium. It's a 4 on the weight scale, and so I have pulled out the yarn out of the center of my ball and I like to use it from the center. And I'm also using a pair of 4.5mm knitting needles, and I will link those in the description below if you want to give these a try, from Michaels. Okay, so they're a nice and short pair. It'll be perfect for like a scarf or maybe a headband, whatever you want to do with your knitted cast on. We're going to take the end of our yarn, this is called our tail, and we also will be using our working yarn, which is the section that comes off of our ball of yarn or our skein. Now we want to start most projects with a slip knot. So what we're going to do is we're going to lay the tail of our yarn over our palm like so, and I will hold on to it between my thumb and ring finger, wrap it around my index and middle and around the back, and then cross over. Okay, so we're going to make a bit of an X here on the inside of our hand, and then we're going to push the yarn, so I turn it over and then tuck it underneath the yarn that we just wrapped around. Now it doesn't have to be super tight around your fingers, it can be nice and loose. The point is that when you slip it off your fingers, you have a loop that's coming out of the center, and then it's tied in a small knot. So when we pull on the tail and the part that it wraps around and comes through, when we pull on that, it's going to create a little slip knot. Now what do I mean by slip knot? Is that when we pull our working yarn, it's going to slide on this side. That's what we're looking for when we make a slip knot. All right, and now we're going to place this on one of our needles. This needle is going to become our left needle, and we are going to pull it down to tighten it up onto that needle. Now we don't want it super tight because we do need to still insert the other needle into this loop. Okay, so I have it just a little bit loose. I hope you guys can see that. Now I'm going to hold on to the tail, and now we're going to take our second needle and we're going to insert it into the loop on the left needle, and we want to insert it like so. So if we're holding our left needle horizontally, we want to insert our right needle vertically. Now I do want the loop coming over the right hand side of our needles. Now we're going to take our working yarn. Again, this is the piece that comes off of our ball. Our tail is over here in my left hand, and we're going to bring it down and around that new needle that we just inserted. So the vertical needle. We don't want it to come across like this. We want it to go in between our two needles. I hold on to my the yarn in with my right hand, and now I will grab this right needle with my right hand as well. Put my finger on top of the right hand needle. This will help keep the yarn that we just wrapped around on this needle. Okay, if you're brand new, this might be super important to you to make sure that you don't drop any stitches. I definitely recommend giving this a try. So put your left index finger on top of that tip of the right needle, bring it down and through, but keep that loop over the needle. It's going to keep this new loop on the right needle. So when we pull it, now we have two loops. So this is our slip knot, and this is our new loop that we just created with that yarn around our right needle. So now to get this one onto our left needle, now what I want you to do is I want you to bring the left needle around and catch the front leg and put it onto the left needle. Okay, pull your right needle out and then give it a little tug to cinch it down just a touch. Okay. Now you don't have to pull your needle out because we're going to put it right back in. So you can keep it in and just cinch down your working yarn leg. So insert your right needle, your empty needle, vertically, same way we did the first time. Got our loop coming across this part of the needle and our working yarn here on the bottom. Bring your yarn around, loop it over top of that vertical needle. This is our right needle. Going forward, we will call it our right needle, and put your index finger on the tip of that right needle, back through, and then now we have two loops on our left and one on our right. Bring your left needle around, catch that front leg, and then pull out your right needle. Insert our needle again, wrap it around, bring it back through with our index finger on the tip of our needle, pull it out like so. Okay, bring the left one down and around and catch that front part of the loop with that left needle and then put it on. Okay, so let's go ahead and continue and add a few more stitches, and we'll go nice and slow. If you need to review this as well. So insert your needle vertically. So we're going in behind. So I take my yarn, go around the back and in between. Okay, we will always wrap our yarn like that for knitted and purl stitches. Just keep that in mind. You'll always wrap your yarn like that. Pull the yarn forward, catch the loop with our left needle and put it onto the left one. So we're transferring that loop back to the left needle so that now we have 5 stitches on our left needle. Okay. So you're gonna keep working this cast on just like that all the way across. Okay, as many as you need to go ahead and cast on. If you need to cast on, 300 stitches for a blanket, I don't know, that would be a huge blanket. But if you need to do that, you're just gonna keep knitting your stitches until you've casted on as many as you need. So if you're gonna make a hat, you might start with like 72 or 100, depending on the weight of your yarn and how big you want the hat to be. If you're making a scarf, I've done somewhere in the neighborhood of like 30 to 50 stitches, depending on, of course, the stitch you're gonna use and all of those things. So keep that in mind. And if you like this video, go ahead and hit that like button below, subscribe to our channel, and then click this video on the screen next, because it is one you are definitely going to want to watch next. We're gonna do knit stitch next. And then after that, you can watch the purl stitch and you will be ready to get started with maybe almost any project at that point. There's so many options when you have just those 2 basic stitches available to you. Okay, thanks so much for hanging out with us, and we'll see you in the next one.